Welcome to the Janea Netball Stadium here in Sydney for the 34th Annual Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Association Championships. We are here covering the live preliminary final between the Victorian 1 Men's Reserves versus the Southern Dragons. My name is Mandy Love, and joining me in commentary today is former Australian under-23s and under-19s defender from Queensland, Chris Newman. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here.
Great to have you on board. We're looking forward to a really strong contest in this men's reserves division. We've got the preliminary final. We do have the team list in, so I'm just going to quickly run through these for you. Starting off for Vic, goal shooter James Story, goal attack Josh Clavarino, wing attack Brandon DeMonte, centre Ben Brutzman, wing defence Simon Cartwright, goal defence Rain Kivavali, goalkeeper Sam McAmars. South Australia start off with Aaron Edmead in shooter, Mike Gorham in goal attack, wing attack Tyson Jerry, centre Dan Reddings, Justin Smedley in wing defence, Lachlan Seabich in goal defence, and goalkeeper is Damien Martin, celebrating his 25th game for the Southern Dragons. So let's see what they've got to kick us off. If you're joining us live on AMNA TV, join the conversation, hashtag AMNA2018, hashtag unmissable. We're going in for a cracker of a match with this men's reserves division. And let's go, South Australia kicking us off with the first centre pass. Gorham lines up and converts the first goal. So we'll just see what kind of defensive structure South Australia are putting on, the Victorians. The last time these two met in round 5, it was a tight contest with South Australia going up 42 goals to 41. So expect a big one. So Chris, any early signs that you can see so far defensively?
Defensively, South Australia seem to be a little bit loose. They can't really compete with Victoria's speed at this point, and they're going to have to adjust if they want to push through and beat it.
Lines it up. Goal attack for the first goal. So
interesting to see how DeMonte steps up, because he played 23s the previous year. So.
Oh, comes up for a flyer. Is that McAmars? Apologies if that pronunciation is incorrect. Long ball. Oh, DeMonte. Thought it was on. Got a bit of a wall here by the Dragons. Oh no, sorry, by the Vics. Waiting for that traditional Victoria press that came out of the Dragons and too quickly.
Victoria cutting off some guys nicely there.
So both teams have shot extremely well this week. Gorham lets the ball travel down a little bit more. Kivavali out with the obstruction call, as is the goalkeeper for Victoria, and scored by Gorham.
Really going to have to adjust there if they want to be effective.
Exactly. So it's a 2-1 lead to the South Australian Dragons, or Southern Dragons. DeMonte looks for the give and go. Clavarino drives in, asks for it.
Big passes.
All right. Let's see what we've got here with the backline throw-in for the Dragons. Nice middle drive, looking for the outlet pass. Needs to cross the transverse line. Got that inside high. Held ball, great defense by the Victorians. All right.
Really need to maximise on this opportunity here. Good front ball.
Barbarino just couldn't connect there with his shooter, Story.
Front ball on.
It's the easiest ball to give, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Great shot by Story.
Need to see more of it. So our officials today are Dean Hurst and Deb Tapper with reserve umpire Dan Rowe. And Edmund scoring as well. So each team holding their own centre passes so far in the early 5 minutes of this quarter. Claveruno just holding it up, just wants to reset. Monte with the feed, long off circle edge, works okay. Story's quite tall, seems to be able to get the feed.
Really starting off quite well on that shooting circle.
Oh, big check on the outside. 2-on-1 opportunity here for the Dragons. Let's see if they do anything with it. And contact call on Kivavali. Drawing out the contact. Or was that an obstruction call, Chris? I missed that one.
That was obstruction.
Okay. And Edmund scoring for the Dragons. Oh, quick change of direction by DeMonte, wasn't needed over the line. What I like about Victoria is they're generally quite measured in their approach, and I have a feeling that comes from their coach, Jenny Lewis, who's the former Australian men's reserves coach from last year. The appointment of the 2018 Australian reserves coach hasn't been announced yet. They will be travelling to Papua New Guinea. Claverino to shoot, scores that. Both shooting circles, working the ball evenly. Oh, Gorham just over. Oh, great ball into Edmonds. Didn't even look at his midcourt.
Great finish.
I'm pretty sure Edmund was just willing that ball to go in. It deserved the finish.
Haven't looked back a fair bit off these centre passes.
They really have. That was Cartwright is in defence for Victoria. Now we've also been informed that one of the Victorian players has actually gone home sick this afternoon.
Yeah, Clint Elwood
Yeah.
has gone home sick. Janine Lewis is quite confident that he should recover by the end of today and will be back fighting tomorrow.
I love their confidence that they know they're going to win.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the winner of this match the loser of this match goes on to play against the winner of the Tasmania versus New South battle, which is happening at 7 o'clock this evening. Gorham shoots and gets that one in. So the Dragons currently lead 6-5 in the second 5-minute block in 15-minute quarters in the game of netball. DeMonte's got that feed just on point, doesn't he?
Couldn't quite finish that one.
Or that one either. Great rebound though by Damon Martin. Oh, Kipavali comes through, gets the call from the umpire as well. Had good front position on that tape. Oh, looked like that was a push by Story.
Dean Monty really looking deep there on those passes with good release and good execution.
I wonder though if they're struggling to hit circle edge. As I say that, they do exactly that. I'm liking the one-on-one contest the Dragons are putting on the VICs. Like, no pass is easy. No pass is a given. It's tightly contested.
Lots of moving players and ball pressure at the same time, which makes it quite difficult to get that give and go, which is what they seem to be looking for.
Sibic just called for the contact call. He just used his inside arm.
Great finish.
So Dragons centre pass. Claverino comes out to help out in defence. Cartwright called for the contact.
Maybe a little bit too hungry on that one there.
Just timing as well. Oh, asking for it.
Pulls that in.
And scores. Edmonds has been shooting incredibly all week this week during the championships. Very rarely does he miss. Oh, pressure by the Dragons. His style is unorthodox, but it's so effective for the Dragons in their front line.
Extremely unorthodox shooting style there. Be interested to see how he developed that.
Oh, look, if it's working, why would you try to change it? Wonder if it's going to be a battle of the shooters this game, or which defensive end can get a stop early. That's as Story converts their centre pass for the Victorians. Yeah, Cartwright just getting called again for the. Oh, hands. Cartwright called for the hip check. Good. That was nice patience on the delivery of that ball.
Strong hold there, but should have put his leg in. Good
and
shot.
Score by Goran. Have you noticed obviously because you're coaching the Queensland mixed reserves team, have you noticed they're letting the contest go a little bit more, the umpires of the AMNO champs this year?
Definitely it seems a very physical competition, but both teams being able to contest that ball really puts a different spin on the game. And it's interesting to see how teams have adapted and built from there. This men's game seems to be quite clean. A little couple contacts here and there, but bad decisions rather than deliberate contacts.
Edmund's got great balance. Swing ball. See, I feel that's unnecessary when you go across the circle edge. It's an unnecessary offside. I know it slows the ball down, but I'm not a personal fan of it.
Definitely a tactic play rather than a skill.
Yes, I agree. So Edmonds is going to line up.
Very composed.
Oh, rebound. It's one thing you ask for your shooters. If any miss goal, you want them to get their rebounds.
Yeah, you really need to follow those shots in. Even if you back yourself subconsciously, just being there for rebound just in case. You never know what could happen.
And as we enter the last 5 minutes of the first quarter, it's still tightly contested. The Dragons currently lead 9 goals to 8, but Victoria have an opportunity with a 2-on-1 here. Oh, Martin with the, oh wow, that tip. That was fantastic. Oh, you want to just keep them in the game. Oh, just got the contact.
Really good vision from the umpire there, looking down the court ahead of play.
We've got such experienced umpires at these championships that you can't argue with them. They are the boss. So Victoria's trying to put a lot of pressure on the outside of the circle here. Oh, Gordon, that's his first miss of the game.
Good save there.
Cross-court pass though. Kivavali connects in the middle with Cartwright.
Good look in.
Feed. Oh, clean block by Damien Martin.
Unfortunately got the contact there.
Was it on the second? What was the second jump?
It was on the second jump.
The first one was clean.
Yeah.
Claverino finishes. Now there's a lot of experience in this Victoria Reserve men's side. They do have 2 teams that compete at the AMNO champs. So it's nice to see that they've got that strong development. They also have the M League in Victoria as well. Gorham strong on that shot. So if you're joining us live on AMNO TV, we're proudly sponsored by Game Clothing and Medals to Go. Please make sure that you connect with us using the hashtags AMNO2018, hashtag unmissable. Now there was a baseline. Was that a contact ball or was that was a baseline throw, was it? Okay. Claverino just caught napping on that passage.
Good area to take there.
Great passage of play by the Dragons. Edmonds to convert and he gets it.
Dragons seem to be really sharp with their speed there in offense.
I think it's because everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing and where they're supposed to be. But they also have 2 options to every pass as well. And what's something that's really good about their shooting circle also is that they share the load. It's not just one dominant shooter.
Yeah, they can both equally back each other to finish that shot.
As a coach, Chris, what would you be saying to your team, like if to like the defensive end for Victoria right now? They seem to be getting a lot of penalties, consecutive penalties.
They seem to be getting caught with their head down a fair bit there, and they need to adjust that as well as their feet, reacting rather than preempting. And if they really want to come in strong there, they need to stop forcing those contacts.
Yeah, contact call there on Sivic. There's heaps of chatter out on court too, like you can hear the boys talking. Either that or it's the game behind us that is extremely loud.
One or the other.
2-on-1 again. Oh, I thought he almost had it again, Martin.
Really
Story.
favouring passing into that big in Victoria there. So.
Yeah, it's a Story. Well, he's such a presence.
He seems to favour that front ball as well, which is nice to see from a tall holding shooter, not being lazy and just forcing that ball over the back there.
And going for backspace.
Exactly.
I don't mind using of the backspace, but it's sort of one of those things that when you start, when it becomes repetitive, you just need to change that game up a little bit. So I think Victorian has the shooters as well to do that.
Definitely. Good read.
And there's that tight man-on-man pressure. Got the call too, Sivic. Claverino with the contact. Just needs to balance up. Oh, Kivavali had a look at it. Edmonds just couldn't hold on to that one. First ball, couldn't hold on to it with a Cartwright, but back up by DeMonte. Great feed. That was a great passage.
Good pass.
Okay, so it looked like, oh no, that was a VIC centre pass. So score is at 13-11. Oh, great hit circle edge. Feeding into Gorham. Gorham's doing a really good job rolling the top of that circle for Edmonds. Yeah, just getting caught with contact on the ball. See, throughout the week, that's actually been let go a few times. And the response from some of the umpires have been that the goal shooter needs to shoot through the hand. So it's interesting that was picked up. Oh, Claverino does like that side, doesn't he? That long ball from DeMonte.
All likes looking in DeMonte there.
All right, and that's the end of the first quarter. South Australia and Southern Dragons lead 14 goals to 12 to Victoria 1. So it's only 2 goals, but it's just 1 turnover. So, Chris, what are your thoughts so far in the game?
South Australia seem to be quite erratic throughout the court, and Victorian defence can't quite adjust to that and set up that press yet. If they use that to control the game, they'll actually finish quite strongly. South Australia edging up by 2 points. I'd put that down to probably speed and execution.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think that Coach Jenny Lewis will make any changes, or Alex Duncan from South Australia?
I think Jenny Lewis should probably keep that team on and let them adjust to their gameplay. I can't see why the South Australian coach would make any changes at this point.
Because they're winning.
Yeah, just up by 2, so they can let that team build from there rather than stop the momentum.
Exactly. So we're looking at some of the messages, or look at the team. Southern Dragons seem to be very unified in what they're doing in their team huddle. Some of the Victorians are having a private chat, so I don't know if on their bench they work in units or not. So let's see what they come out with in the second quarter right after this ad break.
Yeah.
welcome back to the Janaea Netball Stadium in Sydney. We have a cracker of a match between Southern Dragons, who currently lead Victoria 1, 14 goals to 12. Chris, what a first quarter. That is some fantastic skill out there on court. What do you think what messages do you think the coaches are portraying out there to their teams?
I reckon at this point in time, Janine Lewis is really going to be pushing their defence through Victoria. They're just a little bit messy there and not quite as controlled as they'd like to be.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Alex Duncan, she's got her pen and paper out, so she's showing them diagrams. She's asking them to, I think, maybe play with a bit more width and depth in their game. Just to draw their defenders out like they have been in that first quarter, and possibly setting up a couple of screens in there. Oh, umpires are ready. Vic straight out on court. Doesn't look like there's any changes from the Victorians nor the Dragons, which you wouldn't at this stage because it's so close.
It'll be interesting to see who can pull ahead here, if they can.
Oh, first turnover of the second quarter. Sibic unable to just maintain that ball off the centre pass. Kivavali has to play back.
Good solid drive.
Now Victoria are struggling just to get past this fight one-on-one in the mid-third. And there's long screaming along the baseline with Claverino. Okay, obstruction call here by Martin. Just need to adjust that, just to adjust to a new umpire. Great shot by Claverino, so they win one back straight away. Coach Jenna Lewis should be very happy with that start. Just late on the inside arm.
Both teams have come out really firing here, so...
DeMonte will take the sideline on court from Sibic with the contact. Just driving through there. Bootsman. Raises it nice and high to Story. He's just posting up there. Oh, went for the shooter to shooter. Don't know if Claverino was quite ready for that one.
Good rebound there.
He's at least half a head taller, isn't he?
Really gives you that advantage in the circle, unfortunately.
So the scores are currently even, 14 goals each. Dragons just need to settle into this quarter. Just once they get the first goal, I think they'll be fine. Edmonds swings. Oh, they're really battling wing taking defence.
Smedley takes it back there.
I like what Edmonds is doing too, just holding the space.
Bit of an air ball.
We like to call it a pass. Sure, Gorham will appreciate. Gorham was passing that one. I'm sure he was.
Oh, let's hope so.
Turnover by Gorham with that tight man-on-man. McMahon goes up.
Massive ball contesting.
And he's got the call too. Edmonds called for the contact. Quick play of the ball. Looks long. Their full court play is really nice.
Monty looking in straight away.
How can you not though with such a huge targeting Story at the back for Victoria?
Story's being forced out a little bit on range, but he still seems to be finishing the shots, so that's really good for his game. Interesting what South Australia do to combat that.
Yeah, Jerry's having a great battle here with Cartwright in the wing attack, wing defence positions.
Nice reset here from South Australia.
I like that they're able to contest down this end. They're really working hard down here. Each ball is contested. Jerry looking to stay ball side. Smart play. And Edmonds converts.
Very good play with the 2-on-1 there in the circle from the pass only, of course, from the left side. DeMonte looking down.
Yeah, he likes that swing pass. It's like he likes when Story sets. Oh, Story is setting quite early with those shoulder movements in there in that shooting circle. Make you miss playing, Chris?
it's really going to make him effective in the circle there. But he needs to set up ball side. Probably a little bit more there. Monty's struggling to get a bit of a look, of course, from hands over ball pressure there. So.
Just had a bit of side eye from Clavarino to the umpire. Oh, McNamara's getting called. That was a heavy check.
He really
Screen
wanted
set. Gorham demanding that ball, looking for the shooter to shooter. Quick transition by the Victorians. Oh, Damien Martin, great pressure, went out for the hunt and really needed to on that occasion and creates the turnover for the Dragons.
South Australian bench loving that play there.
And nice transition across the transverse line from the defence end. I like when you have plays like this, it's just smooth, everyone knows where they need to be. Kivavali up for the ball.
Couldn't really pull that one in there.
DeMonte playing back to Brooksman.
Having to reset a fair bit here, Victoria, so that one-on-one pressure from South Australia seems to be quite effective.
And it makes you question, can the Dragons sustain this hard man-on-man defence?
It is very taxing on the body.
Really is taxing, and it is day 5 of the competition. But when it's a preliminary final, why wouldn't you want to?
Exactly, you really are fighting for death here.
I've just called time just to Clavarino just to get the ball back. Just spilled off court. He's got a lovely high release on his shot.
He really does, though. Really hard to quite get a good tip on those shots and hand over balls pressure.
So it's interesting that Vic have actually scored sort of like 5 goals already in this second quarter, just scoring off the Dragons' mistakes, just unforced errors. Even though the scoreline reflects it's Victoria now take the lead 17 goals to 16. They really need both sides. Vic are just on the improve. They're definitely looking hungry on the defensive pattern.
Yeah, I really think for Victoria it's their offensive end there, just letting them down just that little bit too much. They're having to look back, and those stronger drives coming through just aren't getting looked at.
Yeah, no, there was a quick interchange from Victoria, so Brooksman has come off in centre, and looks like May has come on. Edmonds long, doesn't want to shoot it. Both starting behind now, trying to get behind their defenders.
Long shot, misses.
Oh, unlucky, missed that one. So Victoria backline throw in. So let's see if that man-on-man pressure is still applied from the Dragons. No, yeah, Kivavali got that ball real easy across the transverse line. I feel like DeMonte has the ball on a string to Soy right now. He is just getting that ball so easily, and that ball placement is just fantastic.
Extremely accurate and effective there for them.
Gora missed an opportunity to go straight into Edmonds on that feed.
South Australia struggling a little bit here.
Yeah, now they're finding the battle. Oh, May picks up an intercept on the back of his defensive end. Carry. Oh no. Clavarino calls for the call. Stays down for a little bit.
Quite a big push off there.
We spoke earlier about getting some basics right and not letting umpires' calls get to you. So Clavarino just needs to find his composure again and utilise this opportunity now that Victoria has the ball again. So Cartwright with the sideline throw in.
DeMonte easily getting free there.
Yeah, I would definitely look at that position for the Dragons in wing defence. It's one of those things that do you put someone that's just equally as agile, or do you put a body on him just to block him up? What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Personally, I would try and match the speed there with another athletic player. The body on just seems to be a game that can get outrun quite easily if the player themselves make an adjustment, whereas if you really select a speedy player, they can stay tight on.
That was a contact by the shooter by Story. He knew, just a hip push off.
I wouldn't quite say he's uncoordinated, but he has quite a large, big build, and maybe that's a little bit hard for him to get a control of there.
Some awkward catch by Sivic.
Edmund really working that circle, moving a lot in there. I wonder if that's confusing their South Australian attack.
I'm really appreciating what Cartwright is doing on the outside. He is single-handedly working Jerry from the moment he's in that middle third from the centre pass.
Really controlling that gameplay.
Yeah. I feel like he didn't really do that much in the first quarter, but he's definitely taking it now.
Maybe a bit of a pep talk there from the coach, right?
I agree. And Cartwright just getting called for the contact.
Nice front ball.
Yeah, split by Gorham. Missed shot.
Deep offload.
Yeah, you'd like to see Gorham like transitioning out. Like, yes, he missed the shot, but you need to be on defense for your team because Kivavali's transition into attack was just way too quick. Story.
Bit of a miss that passes off. I wonder if he's lacking confidence.
Well, Martin's been able to get a couple of balls off him, so let's say, you'd hope that he'd like to get his rhythm back in his shot.
Really screening Martin there.
Yeah, he is. Claverino's a good bowler as well, so he'll make sure that he gets that feed into the shooter, into Story. That was a nice elbow.
Unfortunate contact call there from South Australia.
DeMonte with the feed. He will go long. Oh no, first time. Okay. Oh, bounce past the Story.
Really utilising that body of the goal defence there, getting around him and sneaking that ball in. Good hands over pressure from Victoria. Unfortunately, got the obstruction there.
And this is what I'm talking about with Cartwright. He's doing the work early in wing defence. He's working the ground and forcing that high lob. Oh, Nakamas just can't hold on to that ball, but Kivavali scoops it up. Of course, DeMonte's down the line in the mid-third, in centre third.
May seeming to get caught back in play rather than being forward. Not really being much of an option there through the attack. Might be more a defensive focus centre.
He really could be.
DeMonte looking deep.
Yeah. Martin holding.
Bit of contact there.
Oh, he's down. Story is down and hasn't got back up yet. Needs to call the time. Hasn't called it. Can't call it. Needs to go to the umpire that's down. He's slowly getting back to his feet though.
Seems to have composed himself and walked that one off.
Dragons just couldn't control the ball down their goal third. So Victorian gets another crack at the ball. Oh, great work.
Victoria pulling ahead a little bit there with a 4-point lead at the moment.
Oh, looks like there's a timeout call coming. Claverono's asking for a time. Think it may possibly be a fake injury, but it's a proper injury. Here we go, changes. And that was a planned change.
Victoria seem to really utilise those tactical changes when they get the opportunity to.
It's a smart move by coach Jenny Lewis. Oh, clean block by Martin.
Looking deep.
That was fantastic. Maybe that's what we're talking about the confidence, but Story seems to get that straight back in. And that's what a good shooter does. He has to just go back to post and just go through his shooting technique and his rhythm.
Pulling those balls in nicely despite the contact.
Had him on the first one, Martin, and just that second attempt at the ball. So just trying to figure out who the goal attack that has come on for Victoria. Kivavali, spilled ball again by the Dragons. Just need a bit of balance and composure.
Really good cuts here from Cartwright.
Quick release too from the new goal attack. Didn't connect with his players though. Great feed into Edmonds. Macama's probably obstructing there. Edmonds doesn't get the shot though. Great take. Vic down the line. Straight into Story from DeMonte. Can't convert. Comes off a South Australian. Still in. Great control by Martin just to flick that one back in.
Victorian defence a bit loose there. Offload.
Shooter didn't connect. This is in the match.
South Australia seem to be setting up some kind of a press here.
Okay, Mick had the cover. Kivavali comes through on the drive.
Not looking down at all there, just looking wide.
I wonder if they're looking for more of a third feeder for Story instead of sort of Cleveruno's, instead of two big bodies in that shooting circle.
There was a step there, quite frustrating for Emercher.
Emercher, that's how you pronounce it. It's got incredible spelling. Just need to reset. Everyone's bunching just across that transverse line. Loose pass by Sivic. As the Victoria extends it currently with a 6-goal lead, currently 23 goals to 17 in the second quarter of this preliminary final. So this is a 2 and 3 match. They will play the winner of 4 and 5. Whoever doesn't win this game, the winner actually goes on to play Queensland tomorrow, who sit top of the table. And that is the end of the second quarter. Chris, talk to me about your thoughts on Victoria's second quarter and how they were able to pull back that lead and then extend it.
Victoria's offense truly is the key there. Story and DeMonte really working that ball in. As you said before, they just seem to have that ball in a string. It goes in every time quite cleanly. Bit of a change in the goal attack there. Definitely more pace than the previous player. It'll be interesting to see if he stays on or whether it was just a bit of a change of pace for that quarter only.
And what do you think messages will be coming through from Alex Duncan for the Dragons in that at that halftime huddle?
For the Dragons there, I think it's going to be quite defensively focused in the circle as well as offensively pretty much from the centre third forward. They could not quite execute those balls into that circle there and it was a bit messy.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a couple of changes for the Dragons. So I wonder if if we talked about that wing defence and maybe in the mid-court just get some fresh legs on.
Yeah, definitely. They have been working hard and maybe they're getting a bit tired. It is half time now, so it's getting quite taxing.
And it looks like there will be a couple of changes for the Dragons. So it looks like Daniel Reading will go from centre to the bench. Justin Smedley will be moving forward from wing defence to centre. And Lachlan Jeboro will go from bench to wing defence for South Australia. So that's the end of the first half of the preliminary final. We're going to cut to a short advertisement break and we'll see you afterwards.
passion, dedication, fun, and fitness. What do all these things have in common? These are all the qualities of Game Clothing and our brand ambassadors, professional athletes Laura Langman and Stephanie Wood. Stay up to date with all the latest ambassador and product news at gameclothing.com.au.
And welcome back to the Janaea Netball Stadium. We are witnessing a fantastic match in the men's reserve division. We've got Victoria 1 leading 23 goals against the Southern Dragons, who are sitting on 17. It's been a fantastic game. If you're watching or live streaming on AMNA TV, leave us a comment, hashtag AMNA 2018, hashtag unmissable, which is the type of netball we are witnessing in this preliminary final. Chris, what do you think we're going to see in the second half? Or the championship quarter is the third quarter, as they say.
Well, from Victoria, there's a lot of inter-team communication, so maybe they're working on those relationships, trying to just tighten up that offense a little bit there. Doing really well in the first half. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep it in the third quarter right there.
Yeah, so the Dragons out on court really early. They're pumped, they're ready to go. They've had a couple of changes. So Smedley's moved forward into the centre position, brought on a fresh wing defence.
Victoria staying with the same lineup as before.
You need to reward those players who earned the right to create that lead, that 6-goal margin.
Definitely. They're only just getting rolling here, so I think they can pick up the pace and snowball this one.
You can already see the fresh wing defence is going to be, has that speed and agility, that just trying to lock up DeMonte's feed.
I wonder if that'll come to the battle of wits rather than athleticism.
Yeah, it just needs to and that word composure for most teams. Emercher lets the ball roll in. And we are getting some action shots taken by Power Shots Photography, who are one of our great sponsors here at the AMNA Champs. They help create so many beautiful memories of our athletes in their element. Oh, spilt ball, unfortunately, by Smedley.
DeMonte driving deep, then cutting back.
Oh, and Merchant both going into the pocket. Gets a turnover from Martin. He's been solid for the Dragons at the back. Needs someone to drive forward. May getting called for the obstruction.
Good hands over ball pressure there.
Kivavale just sort of sagging off his goal attack. I wonder if that's a planned move, just to see if they can pick up that second phase ball. Missing.
Big arms there.
Yes, they are. Had to play back.
South Australia really hungry on that one-on-one pressure there in defence.
Well, it's a feature in the men's game that doesn't necessarily, you don't see it very often, because you see the traditional zone, you see the sag defence. The man-on-man or the traditional style that the ladies play is not very common in men's netball.
Personal preference is the one-on-one defence. Being a goalkeeper myself, it allows you to really know where your players are and know where the opposition is too.
Oh, Martin with the block again. That's his third block on Story. I wonder if he's starting to get inside his head. Got the turnover ball. May just looking at the umpire, asking for clarification. Didn't get it because the ball just transitioned so quickly. Nakamas cleaning up at the back for Victoria.
Nurture clearing out there.
Yeah, I quite enjoy watching the Victorian defence. They're very smart with what they do.
May just couldn't pull that in there.
Dragons just need to just go for that first ball contest. Oh, there we go. Sibic had emerged coming through. Didn't get a call, but the sideline throw in. I like it.
South Australia defence here really stepping up.
May over the top, using his height.
Big reset.
Yeah, it was a huge reset. I like how they battle for the ball, like still a free pass. May with the feed into Story. Oh, it's really off. Got him off his shot.
I really think Martin is starting to get the Story there on the defence pressure.
Yeah, I agree. He's having a few issues just crossing the transverse line. Like other players get straight back up when they fall to the floor.
That's exactly right. Play doesn't stop just because we're on the floor there.
Exactly. and especially when players are looking for calls too. Like, you just have to keep driving, taking your feet through to the ball. Oh, Kivavali, exactly what we talked about. Take your feet to the ball. Don't stop on the drive, which is what Gorham did in that occasion.
And Mercer really getting free from his goal defence. It's hard to see his goal defence defending him one-on-one until they're in their goal third.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's just got too much pace.
Story with a bit of a rush layup there, missed that one. Trying to compose himself.
And I think having a Mercer in there will help him. But I feel like he also needs to put up some goals as well, just to free up the attention, because they clearly know Story is their main shooter, their main goaler.
Martin's really changed his defence in here. He's really trying to set Story further away from the hoop.
So, and that's what you want to do. And you know that pass is coming, but you can never quite get the timing right as a defender, can you, Chris? Like, you know what's going to go.
Yeah, it's really hard because the Merchant hasn't taken many shots yet, so it's hard to gauge his range. So whether defend that shot or stay really bodied up on Story there for the rebound.
That's why I question if he's there purely as a third feeder.
Yeah.
Because I thought Claverino was doing a solid job. Like, he missed only three goals in that first half, so maybe that's 3 goals too many. Oh, flyer! Smedley had the backup from Edmund. Back base drive.
Really forcing him deep there.
Yeah, Edmund did a really good job there, just showing the umpire that McAmas was right on his back and just didn't give him the room to move. Kevin Harley hit the back flick. Coach Jenny Lewis, I know, will be saying 2-hand rebounds.
Most definitely.
From her circle defenders. Running laterally. Someone's got to come through. And Mercher does. Wasn't needed. Resets. Yeah, he does a lot of work off ball.
So he may really drives in for the defence, but offensively doesn't really find himself much of an option.
Cartwright getting a tip to the ball there.
Bit of contact there.
So May just called out of play. Look for the swing ball.
Good roll.
Yeah. You'd like to see him like turn and go straight to post. Gorham letting the ball just go closer to the post before he collects.
Leaning right on his player there. Good finish.
So Victoria still maintain that lead, 25 goals to 18 in the championship quarter or the third quarter. Cartwright pulled for the contact across the transverse line.
I don't really feel like Victoria's pulled ahead here, rather than South Australia just seems to be backing off that little bit.
Yeah, 7-goal lead. Gone are the days where a 10-goal margin, like you had it in the bag. It's not the case at this day and age, is it? Like, you can draw that back in a matter of minutes.
Most definitely. I mean, mathematically, 10 points can easily be turned over in 10 minutes plus your own scores. So you can really blow that out to a 20-point lead if you put in the effort.
So there's Edmund's first goal in the third quarter. So he'll be happy he's back on range now. Nice backup.
Late contact there.
So Sibish doing a great job going for that second phase and collecting that intercept.
Story with that ball pressure.
It would have been slightly dangerous if they collected the legs. Contact call on Edmund.
He won't be happy with that one.
No, and like we talked about Martin down the back of Story, I wonder if McAmars is slowly starting to work his way against Edmund in the shooting circle down for the Dragons. And here's that front cut.
Good front ball.
Smart.
Big defence. Finishes one
Okay,
shot.
so he's a shooter.
Big hands out over that.
Huge hands. That's the height difference though, isn't it? Off balance by Gorham.
Bit loose there. Managed to steal that one anyway.
I'm finding the Dragons' leads are starting to become quite flat. Like there's no hard angle, like no 45 drives or any sort of preliminary movement before the ball comes down to them, which is why the Victorian defence has been able to get that line of the ball so sharp.
We haven't really seen a strong front drive yet from the South Australian shooting circle. I wonder if they can adapt.
because they're looking for that wide. They're looking for that baseline drive rather than through the middle. Story rolling and doing some work in the shooting circle for Victoria. Emercher misses, but Story's got his back and creates that goal for Victoria. It's out to an 8-goal margin.
Looks deep.
Oh,
Story pulls it in.
that was definitely obstruction. Still exciting all the same, but you want to see that discipline now.
It's good to see that mateship between Story and Emercher. I wonder if they have played together before.
Looks like they've got some kind of strong connection, or they might have just been playing together for a few years in these championships. Because from memory, there are a few of the Victorian boys who are previous Australian players.
Yeah, Josh Cavarino is one of them, as well as Simon Cartwright and Rain Kivavali. Chris Cameron, who at the moment is on the bench, is also a former Australian player.
I wonder then if Jenny Lewis, the coach of Victoria, her move to pull Clavarino off is strategic to rest legs. Obviously, Clint Allwood is also a shooter, so I wonder if she's just resting him up for tomorrow's match.
Yeah, maybe he's able to play, but not quite 100% there. And definitely want to use Story as that resting player. And Mercher looking to offload.
Go to the post. There you go.
Great shot. Interesting to see Damien Martin's adjusted to defending Story only there rather than putting ball pressure on Mercher, even though Mercher can finish those shots.
Well, he's a bit of a range shooter as well. Oh, great work by Sibic. Vivali's had a hand in every single quarter. He's had like 2 or 3 tips, turnovers. He's an interesting player because he's very quiet and unassuming.
It's really good to see him get around that body. He's not getting called for contact too many times. He seems to be able to move his feet.
He's staying in the game. Oh, Sibic. Bent over. He'll get it back in defence. That's what you've got to do. You lift yourself up and have another go. Oh! Wow, umpire gets taken down. Oh, she doesn't look very good. She's just checking herself, just checking that she needs
a couple of
time.
deep breaths to compose herself there.
Smedley's apologetic. He didn't mean that at all. Debbie Tapper. Well, who knew that the umpires needed to make sure that they were being held in safe concerns there.
Yeah, she was in the right place for the play there, but players just couldn't keep themselves on court.
So Dragons are starting to sag now in defence, and I feel like they need to really put some hard pressure against Emercher in goal attack, because he's sort of running riot in terms of the feeds, the drives down into the goal third for the Victorians.
Emercher has been shooting the last few shots and seems really composed and really on here. I wonder if Victoria are going to capitalise on it.
That feed was never on. And I feel like Jerry knew that, acknowledged that, won't do that again.
Good tip there, resulting in a turnover to South Australia.
Sporo Camel has come on at wing defence for the Dragons.
Ooh, pass into space there, but no one was available. Victoria starting deep.
Yeah, they're all... And you see the Dragons just trying to start inside as well, forcing the Victorians wide, trying to clog up that middle channel. Story screens. That was a good screen by Story there. Great stretch by Sibic.
Wasn't confident there. Strong feed into Story.
Martin just needed to come around the body on that one.
Good finish there. Story seems really excited by that.
So the scoreline is starting to creep out. So 31 goals to 19.
I wonder if South Australia is going to make any changes here. It'll be interesting to see if Jenny Louise keeps those players on and keeps building on that lead.
It wouldn't surprise me if she rests a couple of her players in preparation for tomorrow's sort of do-or-die semi.
Yeah, securing that win really allows you to rest those legs.
Yeah. So Queensland finished top of the men's reserves ladder this year, and they actually had the bye this morning. So they've had all day to recover. So they'll be nice and fresh in the morning. Edmonds with a great long-range shot. Okay, 3 pass play, 4 pass.
Mercer under the hoop, couldn't finish. Story with the rebound.
Converts it. So South Australia just need to score their own centre passes here, score off this one, work really hard together in defence to get a turnover, just to stay in the game.
Speaking to Jenny Louise before the game, her defensive mindset is to actually curb the pace of the game of South Australia, because they are quite agile and they seem to be doing that quite effectively, resulting in some heavy turnovers.
They just thought it was a slow build with that too, wasn't it? The first quarter they didn't maintain that. South Australia came out all guns blazing. Second quarter we started to see a couple of turnovers created from the VIC defence, and this quarter they've really asserted their dominance down this attacking end for the Dragons and winning a lot of ball back for their team, which obviously creates the lead that they have. Kivavali always seems to be on the outside channel for that outlet pass.
Big ball in the Story, and he finishes.
Yeah, Story pointing, saying that was your goal. I think you were saying that to Demonte. Cartwright with the centre pass. Goes right down to the transverse line.
It's good to see both Edmund and Demonte really controlling that attacking down there.
The Victorians are a lot more settled. Dragons still a bit flustered. Like a 15-goal deficit. They need to really throw something and anything out against this Victorian team. Jerry with the free pass option. Gorham should go to goal.
Looking to pass.
Shot by Gorham. And that's what the Dragons need to do. They just need to turn and go to post. They're both quite... they both have a vertical, both the Dragon shooters, so rebounds are not an issue. Great tip by Sibic. He's working really hard, trying to win ball back.
Good contesting there. Unfortunately, South Australia came worse off there.
It's called for the contact.
Front ball.
So this is where you want to do the work and then recover. Okay, that was just lazy. I wouldn't be surprised if that's a caution. Yeah.
That was a really good call by the umpire there. That was extremely deliberate and unnecessary.
And that's what happens, I think, when you get that scoreboard pressure. And I wonder if that's because in the last game it was so tightly contested that Vic won are just completely up for this.
Story and Mercer, they're really excited from that last goal.
And so they should be. They really extended this lead out to a 15-goal lead, basically. So the Victorians did a fantastic job that quarter. So Victoria lead 36 goals to 21. I expect wholesale changes from the Dragons right now. Chris, what do you think?
Dragons going to definitely have to make some changes if they want to pull forward in this. It is just not working in there. That circle really needs to rotate.
Yeah, I know that they do have a shooter who's on their bench, and he was fantastic. Nice, strong in the body, creates great screens. So I wonder if he will come on, and I wonder which one will go to the bench, either Edmund or Gorham. So we'll see what we have here. But other than that, okay, it looks like Edmonds is going out to goal attack. Oh, they're switching them. They're switching the circle around. Sibic is coming off for Tom Morton, who will come on at goal defence. So we've got last quarter coming up for you. All the live coverage is proudly brought to you by Game Clothing and Medals to Go. Also by Key Conference and ATPI Sports Events. And you can like us on Facebook and join the conversation at #AMNA2018, #Unmissable. We'll see you after the break. And welcome back to the final quarter of the men's reserves division. Victoria 1 leading 36 goals to 21 against the Southern Dragons. Couple of changes we can see here on court for the Dragons. These goal shooters have just switched positional changes. So Gorham is out in goal shooter and Edmead is out in goal attack.
Really messy start here from both teams.
Yeah, it has been, hasn't it? Looks like Morton has come on at goal defence for the Dragons also. So expect a lot of chat from him. And he plays a sag style defence, so he'll be looking for the hunt.
Big ball into Sori. Safe rebound.
Yeah, it really is. Oh. Spora is calling the timeout. Wonder if he's tweaked something there. That was straight after the interchange. So Tomo comes on at wing defence for the Dragons. So let's see if they can convert this turnover. Got two options. Morton connects to Tomo. Runs got a very low gravity, doesn't he? Runs very hard on the ground level.
Hands over ball pressure there, not really effective, looks wide. Smedley can't get a look in.
I'd like to see Edmead just drive through the middle, like drive through the top of the circle, because he's going always constantly to the side. So Kiva Valley knows where he wants to go and just is forcing him to go the other way. Forcing him against what he wants to do.
Definitely controlling that play there.
Oh, great shot by Gorham.
First shot and long range.
We've had a few long-range specialists in the men's reserves division. Oh, gets called for the contact, Gorham. Anthony Murray from West Coast Thunder has a great long-range shot. Shoots from anywhere. They call him Anthony Money Murray.
Jeez.
He's looking at selecting his name forward for Australian selection. As a few of these boys out on court, so it'll be interesting to see who gains selection.
Post play there by Gorham. Can't finish. Turnover.
Oh, big check, okay. Just getting out-muscled.
See Monty with the ball. Looks deep. Can't give it.
You know he's looking for Story. Oh, Murcha. He's got great speed, doesn't he?
Ooh, bad read by Murcha there. May not really in position to take that pass.
Morton screaming for the ball on the square, just flat-footed.
Straight in.
And Murcha had all the time in the world with that ball. Story converts. That was a Dragon centre pass too. The Dragons are going to do anything. They really need to start doing it early in this quarter. Like they just leave their run too late.
Murcha really assisting that offense there, bringing that ball down.
And that's his speed, isn't it? He's got great speed, turn of speed and agility.
Doesn't always look in. Really wants to play that front ball.
Looks long. Good switch by the Victorian defenders there. Gorham, good front position. Just curls out. Oh, no call. Okay. Oh, May over the top. Yeah, it's called for the offside.
He's really disappointed with that call. Looks to be in himself more than the umpire, which is nice.
And here is where we see the South Australian shooters starting behind their players. Oh, great D by Kivavali. And
Forced this shot.
Yeah, Makamas just takes the rebound.
South Australia picked up their defence here again. Forcing Vic to struggle a bit. Looks deep.
Yeah, long ball, cross, go for the swing.
Touch ball into Story there. Good contact, but a merchant to take the shot.
Yeah, he'll take that shot. Tomo trying to do some work on the outside with DeMonte. Clearly they know he's the main feeder.
Story slots in there nicely to screen.
Just supporting his shooter, isn't he? His fellow shooter. Oh, that just looked like a whole lot of bodies colliding in one time.
Big turnover there for Victoria.
And with the accuracy of the Victorian shooters, you really can't afford to turn over your own centre pass.
Once that ball's in the circle, that's just about guaranteed to go in the hoop.
Exactly. These boys practice for so many hours.
Well, the team was actually selected in September and they started training straight away.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, interesting. Speaking to Alex Duncan before the game, coach of the Southern Dragons, she was saying that she started training her team at the start of October, shortly after trials, but they didn't confirm their final 12 until late February. So I wonder if this is where we're seeing that combinations, or the work with the combinations, not falling apart, I don't want to say that word.
Maybe inexperienced.
Inexperienced combination together in comparison to a team who's probably been working together as units since September. And I'm assuming that this back end is the former Australian defence end, because it was Cartwright, Kivavali and Macamaz selected in the Aussie team last year for men's reserve division.
Victoria quite hungry for that ball. Just needs to get around that body.
I wonder if they've been given a target to keep the Dragons under.
Body contact there. Victoria really need to stay clean if they want to contest that ball.
And they've got such a great margin too, and they've done such a good job in the first three quarters. You don't want to see them get loose in the last.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them pull them in and play with control and athleticism.
Exactly. Gorham off his shot. Looking at the Dragons bench, and it doesn't look like there's any movement at all from any of their bench players.
Seems to be at least a bit of talk there from Victoria. Still pretty quiet. Maybe that's some confidence though.
DeMonte's just got that ball on a string to Story.
Look at Story, really finishing stronger. He's quite happy with himself here.
So I feel Martin got the upper hand on Story in the third quarter, just ever so slightly, just a small advantage. But Story's maintained his composure and really won that back in this quarter.
Yeah, I feel like he struggled a little bit there through the middle of the third, but towards the end he's really
found his shot again.
Yeah, exactly, quite composed. DeMonte going to look deep here. Emercher.
And this is where you'd like Martin to, even though he was working on Story, to have a go at that baseline because he knew where it was going.
I wonder if Martin's really still in Story's head there. He keeps missing. Just that under hoop shot.
Oh, here we go. Another change. Wholesale changes Jenny Lewis is making for the Victorian team. We've got Clavarino in goal defence. Okay, so from one end to the other.
I wonder if these are resting players or just a tactical change to change the pace up.
I feel like Kivavali is definitely a resting player for finals tomorrow. Edmead, oh, there we go. Once he's got his shot in, he seems to come all right. Just waiting for the ball for the VIC centre pass. So we haven't been given the changes from Victoria. So as we see their names on the back of their shirts, we'll be able to give that to you. So it looks like Case is in a wing attack for the Victorians in place of DeMonte.
Cameron's in wing defence there for Victoria.
And Clavarino is in at goal defence for Kivavali.
We had a quick mention about Chris Cameron before. He was on the Australian team last year, and I wonder if he's looking to back that selection up.
I think any player who's been in the Australian side will want to back that up with back-to-back selections.
Being a former Australian player myself, there is no other reward than playing for your country there.
There's no bigger pride.
Exactly.
And they'll be versing, the men's reserves are actually travelling to Papua New Guinea this year. Training for Papua New Guinea, so that's exciting. Entering new ground. You know, taking men's netball to a brand new country. Development. Exciting times.
Yeah, men's mixed netball is currently played in 9 countries at the moment. Looking to expand that to 11 so we can compete in the Commonwealth Games in the future.
Absolutely. I think that'd be a fantastic idea as the Com Games are being held in Queensland as we speak. We'd like to see men's netball grow and develop in all states of Australia as well. Umpires just called time. Don't know if is that
Really maximising that clock there for the teams.
Claverino pushing back, got the rebound by McNamara. Oh, that looked like a bigger step, but Cameron gets away with it. Ball from Claverino before he offloads it to Pace.
Bit of contact there. Not really happy with that call, but it was really
It was
quite
late.
visible.
It was late.
Extremely.
Doesn't help that it has that swipe action as well. So Murchie to shoot and does so
Strong
successfully.
finish, yeah.
So Victoria really extending this out now. So it's a 20-goal lead, 45 goals to 25.
Be interesting to see if South Australia can fight back and maybe turn the tide of this game at the moment.
Oh, Murchie is just everywhere in this passage. Good work by Martin. I think the ball placement wasn't exactly where it needed to be.
Really moving that ball quickly, South Australia. Looking back for a reset.
Do you feel that they're trying to possibly trying to match Victoria's ball speed as well?
I think they're actually feeling the pressure and really trying to clear that ball out because Victorians seem to be turning over a little ball there, coming out of defence from South Australia, in particular the first 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, the defence from the Dragons is just starting to come off now. They were maintaining such a strong man-on-man pressure.
Story really trying hard there to pull that rebound in, but just couldn't get it. I think that timing was a bit off in his jump.
Oh, Morton just looked down and who swooped that up? Oh, Brootsman's back on in centre for Victoria as well.
Really good finish by Merchant there. Goal defence for Victoria seemed to give it the goal attack a little bit more space. I wonder if he's getting a bit tired there or thinking ahead of the game.
Well, to be fair, I've never seen Claverino play in goal defence. I've only ever seen him in shooting. He was the starting goal attack for Victoria.
Good to see some flexibility
Yeah,
in his
some
game there.
versatility. Oh, that was but he has the body control by Edmead.
Good to see he pulls out of that one rather than just taking that body
Exactly, then
contact.
taking them through, isn't it? All right. I enjoy watching the goal attack and wing attack defend all the way down to their line, rather than just let the ball, letting their players go. Feed into Story.
Bit
Picked
of
up
a
by
messy,
messy delivery, wasn't
definitely
it?
messy.
Morton was able to clean that one up.
South Australia are really moving hard in that circle, not really getting any looks yet.
And it's funny, they're looking at possible double team on Gorham.
Good take.
Okay, they've got one back, so they've converted their own centre pass, so just need to work on trying to get a turnover on the Victorian centre pass. Tomo doing a good job. Just get called for the late contact.
Pace managed to stay on his feet, which is good to see.
I think Coach Jenny Lewis for Victoria will be very happy with this performance from her boys, especially after their round 5 outing where they only got up by 1. Oh, they lost by 1.
Yeah, they did lose by 1 to South Australia, and it seems that maybe she has made some changes. But I think she's quite confident in her boys and having the flexibility to swap three players on at a time.
Well, Vic One had a really tough battle last night going down to New South Wales, which that's the reason why they're into third position on the ladder this year. So I think it's nice to see them rebounding from that and coming out strong.
Exactly, that mindset really is key to finishing these preliminary finals.
So the Vics have definitely been impressive. Great goal by Edmead.
Bit of confusion there between the boys. Good to see it's light-hearted.
Oh, I know. I was just going to think that. I was like, just a little bit of a giggle. Nothing involved in it.
Looking in, not on. Contact there by Martin. He's actually, Smedley. Really needs to pull his game in. He has had quite a few contacts this quarter.
Yeah, I feel like the mid-court changes to the Dragons haven't been as effective as what they wanted. But I wonder if that's because they've got possible injuries on their bench.
Yeah, well, Smedley going from wing defence to centre, that's quite a taxing position on both accounts.
Exactly.
Murcher, long shot.
Off. Nakamaz couldn't control it.
Definitely not. Hits the post there. Unfortunately, Victoria got a touch on that, so it is South Australian throw-in.
Gorham converts.
Victoria not quite happy with that play there, but they need to adjust.
Who would be one of a standout player for you in this game?
It's really hard. Dimonte had a really good first 3 quarters, and Amercha seems to really be controlling this balling here. Story's playing quite well, but can be inconsistent and missing his shots there.
Yeah. Sort of peaks and troughs throughout different quarters, hasn't he?
Definitely. South Australia, look at Martin ripping off his bib here, probably looking at hopefully come off.
And that's time. So Vic won victorious against South Australian Dragons, 48 goals to 28.
Bit of a blowout there.
It really was. It was sort of tight in the first quarter, then they sort of kept it within a couple in the second, and the third quarter was their blowout quarter.
Exactly. You did say the championship quarter before, and it really was
It is the
here.
championship quarter. So it's unfortunate that the Dragons went down on that one, but full credit to the Victorians. They had full control, they were steady, they knew what they were doing, and they didn't rush it. You know what I mean? Like, they just took their time in extending their lead, working hard in defence, and
That's
actually
exactly
converting
Staying
that turnover
composed.
ball. Yep. And I think that's one of the traits that Coach Denny Lewis installs in any of her teams that she coaches.
It'll be interesting to see tomorrow how the game has affected the mindset of South Australia and Victoria. Victoria probably coming off quite a big high from this game.
Yeah, so South Australia will now come against the winner of Tasmania and New South Wales, which is being played later tonight at 7 p.m. So that'll be an exciting matchup and interesting game for tomorrow as well when we come out to knockout semis.
Most definitely. It'll be interesting to see who can pull ahead in those games.
So thank you very much for joining us at home, folks. We've had a blast calling this game for you. And please keep following us on AMNA TV and following us on Facebook, Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Association. Give us a like and leave us a comment. Obviously, all games are provided from Game Clothing. So we look forward to you joining us for the next game. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Chris.